This is to demonstrate the use of the Ego snowblower in moderate conditions, I would say. I used it last night when the snow was very light and fluffy, at about 4 to 5 inches, and it had enough power to complete the driveway and sidewalk, but just barely. It's about a 100-foot long driveway, as you can see in the background, and just made it through. It was very easy going on the downhill, and the driveway is pretty steep, like 6% grade. On the uphill, I got some exercise pushing it up, but if you're in reasonably good shape, even going up a 6% grade in light snow is feasible with this device. Now this morning, we're going to be testing it in about the same depth of snow, 3 to 5 inches, up to 8 or so, but the difference is it's been sleeting and settling, and so it's much heavier snow. As you can see, I already have done 2, one down and one up, and it was not easy going down. I had to apply pressure to go downhill and a lot of pressure to go uphill. Again, nothing that you can't do if you're in reasonably good shape, but because the unit does not have its own mode of power. I should begin by mentioning that the controls on the device are very easy to operate. The lever to shift the direction of the snow, the lever to adjust the height. So far, very easy to operate, and then the simple button and lever to push to start it. So let's show you what it can do. Button first, then the clamp. Red light turned on at this point, and where I turned around, the red light for low battery had turned on there. So at this point, I'm near the end of the charge. So went out much faster this time in the thicker, heavier snow. It feels like it's still operating under full power, and I do have the power turned up to the max, but I am getting these red light warnings from the battery. So it's either drawing too much current or it's getting low to the end. It comes and goes. Like right now it's green, but it'll turn red again. This is to show you another angle from the bottom. I'm at the end of the driveway, which is just a bit over 100 yards long, and you can. This is the snow blown. You can see how much it can do on one charge. This is 3.5 inches of pretty heavy, difficult snow, as I mentioned before, and we're charging the batteries up, and we'll finish it off. Last night, as I said before, I did the entire driveway, the full width, in about 3.5 to 4 inches of light snow. So of course the density of the snow makes a big difference. Battery takes about 40 minutes to charge from dead empty. So this is the second one being charged now. That's pretty fast, just enough time to have a cup of coffee and warm up. Hoping I can keep my tractor-based snowblower in the garage this winter. It works fine, but I'd like to see if I can get away with the Ego electric power mower. The other thing to keep in mind is with electric power that you got to marshal that more carefully. You don't have to do the entire driveway, just enough to enable the car to pass. So in this case, for this car, 5 passes of the 21-inch blower should suffice. Here's an example of how the Ego can also make it through drifts that are higher than itself. This example here, it wasn't too hard to get through there. Just tack it a couple of different times. You can move it up in the air like that. Not very easy, but certainly easier than shoveling. And you can't get a large snow blower. So here's an example where the agility of this device is very handy. So today we compared the more conventional two-phase Craftsman 42-inch snowblower. Had no problem at all, and is pretty heavy and ice-covered, icy snow, about 4 or 5 inches deep. The very lightweight, not self-propelled Ego snowblower also did very well. It did not bog down. I was able to walk at a pretty good pace, and on this hill with about a 6% grade, it was quite a bit of exercise going back up. Nothing that a person in reasonable fitness couldn't handle. It did run out of batteries with about 2/3 of it done. Actually, enough done that I probably could have gotten the one car out. But the batteries charge fast, 40 minutes each, 2 batteries. So you take a hour-and-a-half break, have a lunch, and then you're back out to finish it off. So altogether, a lot of advantages to this very small, maintenance-free machine. You just charge the batteries. That's it. This guy, of course, requires belts, oil, gas, all kinds of stuff, but much more powerful. So at this point, I am not going to dispose of this, but I will be using the electric mower most days, I think, and maybe next season I'll find out I can really get by with a smaller, easier machine. And this is in Massachusetts. We have some pretty heavy winters here, Western Mass. So I've been talking a lot about the density of the snow, whether it's light and fluffy like it's freshly fallen, or a day later after some rain's fallen on it, some sleet. But how do we relate that to some numbers? So I'm going to give it a shot here. I took a 2-foot wide shovel and I scooped up a 2-foot by 2-foot wide area, and it's about 3.5 inches deep here. Put it into this 5-gallon bucket over here and pounded it down just a little bit like this, and that's how much 2-foot by 2-foot by 3.5 takes up. So I can now measure this and determine the volume of the resulting water after it melts, the number of gallons, and hopefully there's something on the internet that will let me score that snow in terms of how dense it is. And then ideally we'll relate that to that plus the square footage of snow blown and the number of batteries that it takes to go through that, and that will enable us to predict how many batteries we're going to need for a given type of snow and size of driveway. And that's going to conclude today's science experiment.